Hey guys, Christmas might be over, but winter is just starting here in Buffalo, and that still means it's chocolate peppermint season. And today I'm going to be bringing you a keto chocolate peppermint mocha ice cream. So let's get started. Excited about this new year coming up. I got a lot of plans and I'm working on expanding my keto upgrade family. I've hit 400 subscribers this week, which is awesome. And I want to thank you guys for all the support. I did create a Patreon account. The link is below if you want to support me further. If you're new here, my name's Alicia and I'm a sous chef with a sweet tooth. If you enjoyed this content, please consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the thumbs up. Leave a comment, let me know what you would like to see for recipes in the future. I got a lot of ideas. I'm gonna have to do a lot of testing though, so while I do testing, I'm gonna be doing recipes that are tried and true, like my ice cream recipes. I tweaked a few things to make this chocolate mocha peppermint. I tested it and it is amazing. So I wanted to bring it to you guys, but I'll link my original vanilla ice cream recipe up there. That was the first recipe I ever put out. I wanted to figure out a good ice cream recipe that was still soft and scoopable even out of the freezer. And I figured out the trick is allulose. Let's get started on this recipe. I just discovered macadamia milk and it is delicious and it has no carbs in it. Cup and a quarter cashew. Usually I use cashew milk. Milkadamia. And a cup and a quarter of heavy cream, and then I'm adding in 3/4 of a cup of allulose. Now this may be a lot, but because we're putting cocoa powder and espresso powder, you need the extra sugar to offset the bitterness of the chocolate and the coffee. Before I forget too, we gotta bloom a 1/2 teaspoon of gelatin in a little bit of the milk mixture. I'm very excited about my new board my pastry chef made for me. It is just awesome and I appreciate it so much. So I'm gonna be using it in as many videos as I can. Just get it all wet in the mixture and it'll bloom up nice. Now the first recipe I did test, I didn't put the gelatin in it because I wasn't sure what benefit it had, and it was an extra step and an extra ingredient, but it helps with the texture of the smoothness of the ice cream. So I have 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. This is cacao from Thrive. It is higher in carbs, so if you want to use a Hershey's cocoa powder, the macros will be different. The macros in the recipe, it's only 2 grams of net carbs for a 1/2 cup of this ice cream. So not too shabby. Adding in the cocoa powder and then 1 tablespoon instant espresso powder. You can also use coffee granules, but you may need more coffee granules than espresso because this is a stronger coffee. Just adding that in there. And then what I always forget to put in, and it really helps bring out the flavors of the coffee and the chocolate, a little bit of salt. And I meant to grab this before everything started. I'm like, oh yeah, don't forget the salt shaker. That way I don't forget. So just a couple turns of sea salt in there. Or you can use the Himalayan salt. You're just gonna turn this on medium heat and just whisk it to combine. Once everything is combined and getting warm, we can add in our bloomed gelatin. We are almost to a simmer already, so we just gotta get this gelatin in and get it dissolved. And then we're gonna temper our 2 eggs with the hot mixture. Turn that off. I have my 2 eggs here. I'm gonna pour a little bit of this in at a time into our eggs. I'm gonna pre-beat these a little bit so that the yolk isn't going around and around in the bowl. Just pour a little bit in, just to get your eggs a little bit used to the hot mixture. Once you have about half the mixture in your eggs, go ahead and pour it back into your pot. Make sure you get all of the lumps out of this bowl into the pot here, because we are going to strain it back into this bowl and we don't want any chunks. Okay, we're done with the whisk. Carefully pour into your strainer. You have quite a bit of hunks of cocoa powder. Just want to smush those through your strainer. See, that's why we sift our dry ingredients before we put them in things. And I didn't do that. Shame on me. Okay, that mixture is all set to chill. Now I'm gonna do the water bath method to make this cool down in hopefully only 20 minutes or so. I just get a big bowl of ice with some water in it, set this right in it, put it into the refrigerator, and then every couple of minutes I give it a stir to get the cold stuff off the bottom and mix it into the warm stuff. And once it gets down to about 42 degrees, we can churn it. So I'm gonna do that, or you can just put a piece of plastic wrap right down on top of the custard and refrigerate it for 8 hours or overnight. So we'll be back to churn. Duh, I almost forgot what made this peppermint mocha. We need a teaspoon of peppermint extract. And because I thought, after I tried it with the 1 teaspoon, I thought it needed a little bit more peppermint and a little bit more sugar still. But you guys can leave this out completely. A half teaspoon of liquid peppermint stevia. So I'm adding that in after you strain it, and you just give it a mix. Now it's going into the refrigerator. Now while that's chilling, we're gonna get on to making a little chocolate peppermint bark to break up and mix into our ice cream. It's so good. But there's a couple different things you can do here. So I just got these in a keto crate. So you can get like peppermint candies online that are sweetened with xylitol. I'm not going to use these today because I still have my peppermint candies left over Christmas. So that's made with ice malt sugar. I will put a link to how to work with isomalt, doing the microwave method, and my measurements for how much peppermint I used. So I'll put that down below if you want to make that. But then there's also recipes online that I'll link down there to making your own xylitol candies. Another thing, I'm using Lily's semi-sweet chocolate chips, and that is because there are 0 carbs. So this adds no extra carbs, but you could put in any flavor chocolate you want. If you want to make this white chocolate peppermint mocha, you can cut out the cocoa powder and use white chocolate instead, which I might make a version of that too soon. I got semi-sweet chocolate chips in here, about 1/3 cup, and then we are gonna seed it. I'm gonna just heat this on a low power for 30-second intervals, and then I'm just gonna add a couple chips in until it gets down to about 86 degrees. So they're mostly melted, so I take them out of the microwave, stir them until it's all melted. You just add a couple in at a time until it stops melting. And that's it. Okay, so they're all melted. Put a couple more in. They're all melted again. So I might have got this a little too hot because I got a little distracted. I want to try to not heat it up too much so that way it's easier to get it down to the temperature. Yeah, it's 102. Oops. Keep adding until it gets down there though. Still at 98. Wah, wah. You finally feel it stiffening up when it's getting down to the right temperature. Lily's chocolate is not very liquidy at 86 degrees. It's pretty thick. That's also, if you don't have a thermometer, you don't want to test it. Just know that when it starts getting really thick and your chips start to not melt as quick, you know you're getting down to the right temperature. I think we're just about there. It's pretty thick now. Okay, so I just have a plastic lid, whatever you want to spread this out on. It'll come up easily off of any surface pretty much. Just take your chocolate, put it all on your plate. Offset spatula, best multi-tool, good for a lot of things. I just spread it out kind of thin because you want like almost like little chocolate peppermint shards in your ice cream. And I just cover it with my crushed peppermint candies. Then once it's cooled, you can break it into little pieces. You can also just put peppermint candies right into your ice cream also. It'll be good. I'm just doing a couple tablespoons over the top of the chocolate. And just push it down in there a little bit so it sticks. I also have my xylitol dust that I separated. I didn't end up using much xylitol because it wasn't as pretty, but we're gonna have some green in there too. Green and red. Make sure all your chocolate's covered. You want a lot of peppermint in there. There you go. We'll be back to churn some. Be back soon. Okay, that may have been a little bit longer than 20 minutes. It took probably 40 minutes or so, but it's just about there. I want to show you, I got a baggie. I'm going to use my offset spatula again. I'm just going to lift this off of there, slide it right into my baggie, put all the rest of my goodies in there that didn't stick, and then just break this up into pieces. And it looks like it tempered correctly. It's breaking and snapping nicely, so that's what you want. Break it all up into little pieces. So did you guys get anything cool for Christmas to cook your keto dinners in? I got a Ninja Foodie, which I'm excited to try. I might do some live streams with that. I got a pasta maker, so I am going to be trying my best to make the best keto pasta possible. Very excited for the new year. That looks good. You want some decent sized chunks, some small chunks. Time to get our ice cream bowl out of the freezer and our mixture out of the refrigerator. Oh, it's cold. Cold, cold. Oof. Oof. That was chilly. I just grabbed my mixture right off my ice bath. I'll grab that later. You want to get the water off the bottom because you don't want the extra water in your ice cream. Turn your guy on, stir, pour in. Now I wanted that mocha flavor to come through, and it definitely does in this ice cream. But if you don't like mocha, just do chocolate peppermint and just leave out the espresso powder altogether. And maybe just don't add in that extra stevia extract. Just put in a little bit extra peppermint extract and it will be delicious. That should hopefully only need to churn for 20 minutes. Churn. Okay, so that took actually less than 20 minutes. So we are completely churned up here. I'm gonna grab my bowl out of the freezer. I'm gonna dump these shards of chocolate right into here. Last time I took it off and kind of mixed them in. And because you're mixing it without it being churned with the freezing, it got kind of melty. So either do it this way or layer it in as you're scooping it into the bowl. I scrape the chips down a little bit so they can get churned in better. And this is going to be even better than the last one because of that gelatin. It's going to have a smoother texture to it. I'm excited. Okay, let's get this guy out of here. I got my lid here. I'm going to put the paddle down on it once I get most of the ice cream off. Looks delicious. I'm going to give it one little mix because it looks like we had a lot of chunks on the bottom. Yeah. There we go. Okay, save that for a snack later. I'm going to pop this into the freezer. No, this is not turkey stock. And I'll be back tonight to try it. So once this freezes solid, about 4 hours, I'm going to come back and scoop some for you. It is time to do some scooping. It is 9 o'clock at night, so I have a little bowl that I had in the freezer because I'm not going to eat a big bowl of espresso chocolate peppermint ice cream right now, but it looks delicious. That gelatin really makes it smooth. Like, it did not come out smooth like that when I did my test batch. I did make a little bit of whipped cream for the top. Put this back in the freezer. Looks delicious. I'm also going to sprinkle it with a little bit of peppermint candies on top. Make it festive looking. There is our beautiful bowl of Keto chocolate peppermint mocha ice cream. Can't wait to dig in. I took a little break to take pictures, but I wanted to add a little chocolate sauce. So I added my Keto chocolate syrup. I'm not a fan of it. It's like really watery. I should have just made my own chocolate fudge topping, which would have been even better. But it's going to have to do. It's time to try this. Super nice and soft. It is creamy and delicious. And you get chunks of peppermint in there. Oh, it's so good. I'm so excited to have 2 batches of this now. This is the perfect holiday ice cream for sure. It is amazing. So down below in the description box is not going to be the recipe because I have a website now. So now I'll be posting all my recipes up on my blog instead of down in the description box, which will free up a lot of space because sometimes I can't even get all of the characters into that description box because the recipes are so detailed and I want to give you a lot of information. So the blog post will be so much nicer and neater. The link will be down there. It's ketoupgrade.info. So check out my new website if you'd like. If you enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button down there. Hit the thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to try this delicious ice cream recipe. I suggest you do because it's awesome. I'll be back with many more keto dessert recipes. Bye, guys.